Chapter 1. Friendships and Fatherhood. "Ooh, yeah, just like that, just like that," Frieda Moore Livingston cooed as expert hands moved up and down her bare back, across her shoulders and back down, kneading, rubbing, before coming to that sensitive dimpled spot just above her juicy assets. "That feels so good." Oohs and ahs surrounded each word that oozed from her lips. Strong, lean fingers continued down her thighs, paying special attention to the calves and feet before heading back the way they'd come, lingering at the small of her back, switching to feather-light strokes as they splayed across her shoulders and along the nape of her neck. Frieda felt as though she'd have an orgasm right on the spot. It had taken her a while to understand the hype, but now she was a true believer. There was nothing better than an afternoon massage. "We're done, pretty lady." Tyson, the masseur to the stars and to those with star quality, translated plenty of cash, tapped Frieda lightly on the shoulder to signal the end of their session. "See you next week?" "Of course, baby," Frieda said, turning over and getting off the table, shamelessly letting the towel fall on the floor. More than once, Tyson had suggested she wait until he leave to begin dressing, but Frieda had other plans. Often she'd wondered how it would be to have other body parts massaged during these sessions, but so far, her not-too-subtle hints had only been met with a patient smile. The first assumption had been that he was gay. After all, who would turn down what Frieda called pussy on a platter? But her friend Stacy's baby daddy, Darius, had told her that Tyson didn't get down in that club. And since the platinum-selling R&B singing sensation was patently homosexual and very much a part of that world, Frieda thought that he would know. If not for the fact that she was now headed to a thick link of sausage not far from her old stomping grounds, she might have been insulted. As it were, she simply laughed as Tyson quickly averted his eyes and left the room. Moments later, Frieda clicked the locks on her shiny new Lexus LX and slid inside. Ever since she'd purchased the Pearl Wonder with light tan seats, she'd given to wearing outfits and/or accessories in the same color, often finished off with Louboutin pumps and pearl-colored Gucci shades. Frieda's picture could have appeared next to the word materialistic, but she didn't mind. She'd learned how in L.A. image was everything. She had faked it until she made it, and snagged a doctor in the process. Thinking of Gabriel, the hard-working husband and sponsor of the designer duds she wore, caused a tiny tinge of guilt as she turned down Martin Luther King Boulevard and headed toward where she used to live. Passing row after row of modest apartments, much like the one she'd rented upon arrival from Kansas City, she reflected on her journey from then till now, and how far she'd come in less than 5 years. When she left the Midwest and a drug-slinging boyfriend to join her cousin and best friend Hope Taylor in the City of Angels, all she'd hoped for was a good time. And now here she was, a wife and mother, living in a Tony West Side neighborhood amid 5,000 square feet of luxury, a bank account courtesy of her husband that never boasted less than 5 figures, credit cards with no limits, a chef, a maid, and a nanny/house manager. Sometimes she had to pinch herself to make sure she wasn't dreaming. And sometimes she had to do what she was doing now, go slumming for something that money couldn't buy, a thick piece of sausage. "Get in here, girl," a tall brother said as he opened his apartment door. His island accent was as sexy as his long, thick locks, his ebony skin, his straight white teeth, and his washboard abs. "You know me don't like to wait for you." Frieda was nonplussed as she threw her purse on the couch. She kept silent as she unzipped the front zipper on her pearl-colored Mini and let it fall to the floor. Her cell phone vibrated, but she ignored it as she reached behind her and unclasped her bra. The young blood's eyes narrowed, and he licked his lips. "That's right," she thought. "This caramel goodness is worth the wait, isn't it?" Her nanny/house manager's son, Clark, could say whatever he wanted, just as long as he did what she told him to.